Welcome to the last bastion of independent and free speech. This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. We know the assignment. Our day starts when yours ends. We don't clock out. Saddam Hussein once said, and I paraphrase, I am only as powerful as I can convince people that I am. Where is he right now? Just a thought. There are four things that MAGA is very good at: tweeting, yelling over other people with lies, shooting people who aren't looking in mass shootings, and convincing the rest of the world that you should be afraid. You should not. There have been some examples over this weekend that should begin to prove to you that the people have power in this country. Not only that, people all over the world have been supporting us in this country. Now, if you still need signatures on a petition, or you still need some kind of validation that you have support, then you're fighting the wrong battle. Because the one I have to fight, I fight alone. I don't need all of that. I'm results oriented. And the results I saw with them crashing the system that deletes Hulu and Disney accounts proved to me that we don't need to sign anything. I think we're getting a little bit too hung up on that bullshit. Really. I think we're getting too hung up on numbers we can count. Michael Fanone posted a video recently about the protests in D.C. Maybe you should watch those and stop sitting behind the computer counting shit. Because what matters is those people in the street when you can't drive down the street, when they're coming off of sidewalks, when you hear chants and roars. That's what people hear. It might not be taped on your MSNBC and CNN, but those who matter are recording it. And those who don't are living in fear. Now, I'm going to comment again on what happened to me. I just want to say a few things as far as that's concerned. If you're thinking, I don't know what MAGA thinks when they post things like they do or they respond to videos like this. For every one response, and I haven't gotten many to my videos, especially negative, because I think people understand when they see the real thing. And you can't negate that. But when you're fearless because you know what you're doing is right, you don't need to respond but once, because it's a calculated response. The reason why we're in this position we're in is because people of color, including me, at times have entrusted their future to people in every party that did not deserve that trust. The moment that subpoenas were issued in the first investigation into Russian interference in the election, when those subpoenas were ignored and not enforced, a white Nancy Pelosi failed to uphold her oath of office. That trend continued for 4 years. Then we got a respite with Joe Biden, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. At least we didn't have to wake up every day worrying about if somebody's going to be banging on our door because we said something they didn't like, or if they were going to close a university that our grandfathers went to. Once Biden's tenure was over and everybody beat him up for not delivering everything free to their doorstep, what we got is a promise of lower prices, the end of wars, and all this other bullshit on day one. And all these high-stepping peckerwoods sat there and clapped. Because as long as you can get rid of the blacks, as they call us, and I'm also other races, but that's how they do that. And you can demonize Latinos, that's all they gave a fuck about. Even though none of those demographics have ever committed the crimes upon white people that they have committed upon us. But I digress. They clapped it on. So this dumb asshole got elected. And nothing in this world polishes a white man's inferior knob like getting on the internet and owning the libs and issuing threats. And nothing validates that more than people who are getting rich off of their stupidity. Look at the farmers now. Look at the Midwest. They voted for Trump. And they're getting fucked. Like I said, if I was Willie Nelson, I wouldn't have done Farm Aid. Fuck them. They voted against their own interest. When is Willie Nelson and people like him gonna come out here to the inner cities and do a concert for all the people whose families have been killed by police officers and none of them have been prosecuted? When are they going to come out here and do ghetto aid for all the kids who go to school with no lunches and have to drink contaminated water in places like Detroit? When is Willie Nelson going to do water aid for the people in Alabama, the black communities that have been ignored, that have raw sewage flowing in their backyards? Because since slavery, they've never been hooked up. Because they don't count. They don't count. While I'm at it, Tyler Perry, He's got a lot of money. Why doesn't he go down to the fucking South and do that? There are multiple states down there where black people don't have any water. There are multiple states down there where you have to run a pipe out of the back of your house, and for centuries the sewage has been filling up in the forest. But when the king's son is homeless, Tyler Perry hosts them over there at his place. Why don't you host those poor black people that are descendants of slaves on that land you bought in the state of Georgia? Why don't you do that, Tyler Perry? And while I'm on this topic, there are a whole lot of things that have been ignored in this society that aren't even talked about, including this water situation and sewage situation down south. You need to watch a movie called Silver Dollar Road. Just do that, and you'll understand a little bit of what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to get back to the point of this video. If you have a problem with me, you don't like what I say, or you hate me, you have that right. But I have the right to hate you right back. And I do have the right to defend myself under the United States Constitution. Now, you might not believe that, but I can prove it in a court of law. So if you want to issue death threats, you want to do all this stuff, let me be the one. Because I'm more ready for you than probably anybody in this country. Because I've been studying your asses. I know your playbook, and I know your next move 99.9% of the time. So if you want to kill all the black people in America, why don't you just rent out an arena and invite everybody who wants to fight? Put up or shut up. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Because let me tell you something about the MAGA movement right now. And all these people wagging their heads thinking they're all of that. Enjoy it while you can. Because this is not going to happen on the 2026 election date. What's going to happen and bring you down is going to happen right now. And it's not going to need you to call the Secret Service like you did against Gavin Newsom. It's not going to need for you to be surrounded by Secret Service and military. What it's going to need is you to be smarter than the idiots that elected you. And you're incapable of that. And that's how we know we win. Because you are a circus and a cavalcade of idiots. And we are all the educated military, police, government officials, scientists, teachers, and intellects that you dispelled from your government. That is now your opposition. You can ask Disney about that. So keep it coming. Come on, Cletus. I'm up for it. In the meantime, have a Disney day. This is the John Brown Alliance. And America has MAGA right where we want you. Peace out, bitch.